stuck. Most people are stuck scrolling through social media, eating shitty food, stuck in 90-degree angles, uncreative, uninspired, unmotivated, and unable to get out of their own head. You're watching this video because you know that there's more to life than just this physical world. You know there's more to experience. You know there's more to love. You know there's more to see beyond what the eye can see. I've come to know myself through different introspective practices. And these introspective practices are not conventional. These introspective practices are creative. A lot of people think the spiritual path to be one of silence and meditation, retreating to the mountains and the Himalayas to hang out with the monks. But no, the spiritual path is different for everyone. And I have found yoga through creation, found the yoga of creation, union through creativity. And I have developed this way of leading a creative life and putting forth my connection with the Creator as my main endeavor through life. And how can I convey that on camera? How can I convey that through writing and journaling? How can I convey that through my music? I have these various practices. I have these creative practices that allow me to dive into myself, to deepen my understanding with myself, and ultimately deepen my understanding with God. God is not this bearded man in the sky casting judgment upon me. God is not something that we can necessarily point at, because God is. God is the all. It is all we can imagine, all that we can comprehend, and it's still incomprehensible. God is paradoxical. God is ever-pervading. God is omnipotent. So we, as human beings, are microcosms of that macrocosm. We are creators in form. And ultimately, I've found through the yoga of creation that we can deepen our connection with our Creator by creating as we are created. In the same way that we understand ourselves to be God's creation, we can create our own. And these creations that we have can live lives of their own. In the same way that God can create and live through us, our awareness, our consciousness is divinely connected to the source, divinely connected to God. But if I said, I am God, I'd be a fool. If you say, I am God, you are a fool to think that you would even be as close to equal. However, as we create, we can put our divine essence into these creations. As I write these songs, as I write these pages in my journal and package it up into a book, I am putting my essence, my pure divine essence into these creations so that they can live longer than I. These creations may carry out a life on their own. You see something like viral videos, for example. Look at one of the most famous ones. Charlie bit me. Oh, Charlie bit my finger. You look at a video like that, and that video was a creation. Somebody created that video and shared it with the world. And that video took on a life of its own. That video hit the screens of almost everybody on the planet, just about. Half the world has seen Charlie bit my finger because it carried on a life of its own. And when we breathe these creations into existence, we are breathing life into the world. Our creations are alive as we are. They may not sing and talk and smile at you and hop on planes and travel the world with you. Or they could. Look at your children. But these creations that we have, these divine pieces of ourselves, these artistic pursuits, our drawings, our paintings, our songs, our videos, these are pieces of us that carry on their own lives beyond us. So my life is dedicated to creating, to sharing, and deepening my connection with myself through these creations. Because as I create, I begin to know myself. And as I begin to know myself, I begin to know God. Because God speaks through me. And God speaks through you. God is the awareness behind us, the consciousness, the purity, the spirit. That is the source. And when we let the ego take a step out of the way and allow ourselves to be an open channel for the divine to manifest into the world, God speaks through us. And as God speaks through us, these creations become pure. These creations speak to people on a grand, magnificent scale. And we can lead lives of service to others. We can lead with our hearts and show up in the world as love. And we can show up in the world in the way that we want to be shown up for. Because ultimately that's what this is all about. Is serving others as we would serve ourselves. And if I couldn't give myself the grace to create, I would be doing a disservice to the world. And you are a creator. There's no distinction between you and I. There's nobody that's more creative. There's nobody. There's no such thing as being more creative than somebody else. We are all creators in our own regards. And it's getting over the hump of vulnerability. It's getting over the hump of judgment that you have for yourself, for putting yourself truly and authentically into the world, unapologetically, to allow God to speak through you, to allow your creations, to allow yourself to live longer, to allow yourself to live beyond this human incarnation. And the only way to do that is by creating a business, by creating a family, creating music, creating art, creating a life worth living. And that's what this is all about. That is what life is about. And that's why I subscribe to the yoga of creation, which is why you should subscribe to Corey Engelhart. And watch that next video down here because we have tons more content on spiritual awakening, self-realization, consciousness, creativity, connecting with the divine. So I am so thankful for you being here with me, creating on this journey. So thank you. Much love. Adonai.